Anyways,
We got the win.
We got the win. We got the dub. Woo, 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 woo. Hey, welcome to That Kingdom Come. We're a podcast where we talk all things Chiefs and the NFL. I'm Justyn. That's Josiah.
It's pretty good.
I don't know if I understood what I said.
I didn't.
Okay, cool.
I heard my name, so
Hey, man.
That Kingdom
So you're
Come.
going to talk. That Kingdom Come. Dionte's not here.
Yeah.
He's doing this thing where he's taking vacation.
Time off.
And
Like-
this is the second time he's taken vacation in a month and a half.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yep. Month and a half.
Yeah.
Jeez,
But he makes the
man.
big bucks, so.
Yeah, he makes way more than all of us running this podcast.
Yeah. Of course.
It's crazy how that works. But hey,
Yeah.
man, we're pretty stoked to be here. Yeah, a lot happened. Lots happened this weekend, as well as honestly, just since Sunday. It's Tuesday morning, and a lot happened on Monday. And then we're just gonna talk, recap. We're gonna give you guys some news, and then we'll go ahead and preview Chiefs versus Raiders on Black Friday.
Yeah.
Is that an omen that we're playing the Raiders on Black Friday?
I mean, yeah. I guess. I mean, last year we played them on Christmas, and that was a omen for good things to come because we didn't lose after that.
I mean, I was talking because the Raiders are black-colored team,
Ah.
and it's on Black Friday.
Oh, well, then what does that mean?
I don't
what
know.
kind of omen
I was
is that?
asking you, bro.
You said, is it an omen?
Yeah.
Sure, but like omen of what?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't really know what the word means.
Okay. Look, I'm a fill-in. I'm second string.
Yeah,
Why are you asking a backup?
You're not second string, though, technically. Maybe on camera, but not with, like, you're on every...
Yeah, you move me to a different slot. I'm second string in a different slot on the depth chart.
I mean...
Like, if the guy's not there, I show up.
I mean, you barely showed up last week.
That's true.
Barely.
That is true. I don't care about the Bills, man.
You were really sad.
I was really sad.
You were really sad.
I showed up literally right as you guys were wrapping up the Bills, so...
Oh, my gosh. Poor guy.
But now we played the Panthers, who are a much better team.
Yeah, but we'll talk about them in a second. Before we get into that, we're going to give you guys some news, some injury updates, and some signings. So, first thing of news, the Chiefs, we're cursed this year.
Yeah, I think it's an omen from somewhere. We got
It's
it
an
from
omen.
somewhere.
So Spencer
Gotta go
Schrader,
back.
the man that kicked our game-winning field goal on Sunday against the Panthers, pulled his hamstring, and he's going to be out against the Raiders on Friday. Also, we did. It is looking like we're going to sign Matthew Wright, who filled in for Bucker when Bucker was injured a couple seasons ago.
How did he do?
Not great. He did not do great. Matthew Wright missed several field goals. Not the greatest. He's been down to, I might be thinking of Matt Amendola, actually.
Is that who? Oh, yeah.
I might be thinking of Matt Amendola. Either way, Matthew Wright, he did play with the Chiefs before.
Yep.
He
played for 2 games.
Yep.
And he was 3 for 4 on field goals. Points, 17 points. Trying to see where his extra point percentage is.
Who cares?
I think he was 8 for 8 on extra points.
Yeah, okay. So I was thinking of Matt Amendola, not Matthew Wright. So Matthew Wright actually did solid for us. What year was he here?
2022.
2020.
So you got that right.
Yeah, so that was the beginning. That was when Bucker was injured. So, yeah, man, it's going to be interesting, right? This is the third starting kicker in 3 weeks that we'll have. Do what?
Right.
Right?
You said it's going to be interesting, right? Yeah. Matthew Wright. What's right with Nick Wright?
Where's Dionte? Okay, so that being said, Matthew Wright's most likely going to be signed and played as of this morning. Tuesday, he has not been signed yet, but it's looking like he will. Next, Peyton Hendershot, yet another tight end, is going to IR. So that's Jody Fortson, Jared Wiley, and now Peyton Hendershot, all on IR. So he left Sunday's game with what seemed to be a calf cramp, but it looks like the injury's bad enough to where he's going to be placed on IR. So, yeah, that's not fun. I'm dying. So that's not fun. Next, we have Isaiah Pacheco, Charles Omenihu. They're still kind of day-to-day. We're not sure what's going on with their return time frame. I highly doubt we bring them back against the Raiders. Either of them will be ready to play this week. It looks like it's going to be a game that we should win. But the Raiders do always play us close, so that's to be seen. Their defense is still solid. So we'll see what happens.
And we're not in a position as of right now that we can afford to let any of these games go.
True.
Because the Bills are right behind us.
True.
They're right behind us.
I mean, when it comes to out of those two, I think the person we need most is probably Charles Omenihu, right?
Yeah.
On our defensive line, because our pass rush has looked bad. But yeah, they're still day-to-day. Isaiah Pacheco's more likely to come back sooner than Omenihu, but I mean, at this point, who really knows? DJ Humphries will be coming in to play left tackle. I don't know if he's starting this Friday or not, but they did finalize a contract for the remainder of the 2024 season. And Humphries, who is returning from an ACL injury, torn ACL last December 2023, is turning 31 here soon. But he'll add depth and experience to our offensive line. And hopefully we'll kind of get Patrick Mahomes a little bit more time in the pocket so we're not scrambling as much as he feels like he needs to, even when he really doesn't need to, Yeah. So that'll be good. It'll also give Wanye Morris and Kingsley Suamataia, even Ethan Driscoll, it'll give them somebody to kind of look up to. Yeah, Jawan Taylor's been around a little bit too, but having DJ Humphries come in would be a very adding another veteran in that spot would be beneficial to us. And last year, his PFF grade was higher than the rest of our tackles, so I'm looking forward to that. He did give up, I think, 4 sacks last year. But I think that Jawan Taylor and Wanye Morris have both given up more so far this year than that last year. So that's to be seen. And then last, some good news. Patrick Mahomes was named a finalist for the Art Rooney Sportsmanship Award. This is following the week after he got fined $14,069 for a violent gesture. Even though he didn't he just pointed like that. He didn't do this. He didn't do that. He just, boom, which has been a first down symbol for a while, but that was after he did the touchdown. So maybe, but he's a gunslinger, bro. That's what they, he wasn't going pew, pew, pew. So in my opinion, there is a very, very definitive difference between somebody shooting a gun. You see the receivers doing you see somebody being boom, 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 right? There's a very definitive difference between a quote-unquote violent gesture and somebody pointing for a first down, right? In my opinion, that's the NFL trying to get money, right? NFL is just trying to pull in money any way they can. It seems like they're finding players for the smallest things now. At this point, they're not wanting to change the game. They say they want to change the game, but realistically, they're not changing the game, right? People are being more defined in it. They're taking the fun out of the game. NFL is starting to become no fun league again, and that's infuriating.
Oh, NFL. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, yeah.
I'm disappointed.
I do think that the way that they're using fines is to, just like whenever they used to kind of make celebration dances like almost like illegal.
They want control, man.
In the league.
They just want control.
Yeah, they're wanting to control
nothing to do with making it fair
Yeah.
and sportsmanlike. They want control. They want control.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't think they need Patrick Mahomes' $14,000, but I do see what you're saying in the way that they're trying to control.
I mean, if there's somebody in the league where $14,000 is not going to matter,
Yeah.
like $14,000 to Patrick Mahomes is like, I don't know, $5 to me.
Yeah, it's like they're winking at him like this is a slap on the wrist. Like
It's stupid.
we have to
No,
do
when you
this.
got Peyton Hendershot earlier this year, who shoved a player and got fined $14,000 for it.
That's
That's a huge
That is
difference. That dude makes less than $1 million a year, so that's a much bigger kind of chunk of change out of his pocket. But yeah,
he makes
so-
less than $1 million a year.
yeah. So that's my take. That's the news. Those are the injuries. Now to the recap. So Josiah,
Yeah.
coming down to the Chiefs versus Panthers.
Yeah.
We won.
We did.
It was last minute.
Yeah, it was.
What are your initial takeaways?
I think it was what everyone was kind of feeling the whole game,
Okay.
which was just frustration.
Yeah.
And I almost said disappointment last night whenever we were planning this and talking about this, but I'm not disappointed because we won. We came away with the win still,
Right.
and the offense looked good. We'll get to that, but it was just like there's no reason why we should be a 3-point game scoring that high.
Right.
Like you said, we should have ran away with it whenever you were talking about it last week.
Mm-hmm.
We did score really high,
Yep.
but it's just we gave up so many
Many
bad
opportunities.
plays.
So many opportunities.
Penalties, negating the good plays. And the defense just, like the secondary was just giving up these. And to be fair, like the Panthers looked really good
On offense, yeah.
on offense. And so, like, they did make Bryce Young have to throw it in the right spot, but he
Right.
consistently did that all day.
Yep.
And through coverage, they were still able to get yards. So,
Yep.
on a better note, though, Travis Kelce did pass the most receiving yards in Chiefs history for a receiver as a tight end.
Well, so that's he passed Tony Gonzalez.
Yeah. So he passed another tight end.
Yeah.
So
Crazy.
third most receiving yards in NFL history with 11,827 yards.
That's nutty,
So,
man.
That's a lot of yards.
Yep.
So
Well, and that's third most receiving yards for a tight end.
Okay.
In NFL history, not in actual.
no, yeah.
Yeah, that was so I typed up some notes with the stats, and I forgot to put for a tight end there. That's my bad. Whoopsie, making Josiah look bad.
hey, that's fine.
Hey, it's all right.
It's fine.
It's because you're second string.
It's because I'm second string. I'm allowed a little bit more.
So I agree with what you said. So my initial reaction is Bryce Young is not as bad as people think he is.
Yeah.
I think Mike Dana was right last week when he said dude was QB1 for Alabama. There's a reason. He's an up-and-coming quarterback. He's finally, it seems like over the last few weeks, he's finally finding himself in the system, right? So, I mean, kudos to him. He made one of the touchdown passes he threw. It was the only touchdown pass he threw, I think. It was just over the fingertips of the outstretched arms of Trent McDuffie. And Trent McDuffie, I don't think, could have played that any better, right? He was in perfect. Bryce Young had to put it in the perfect spot, and he did. There was a couple things where Bryce Young was getting hit, and he made a perfect pass, right where his receiver needed it.
And they were saying that like that could be the best throw of his career.
Right.
It was incredible.
It was fantastic. And like you attributed to, several times we had penalties negating very good defensive plays.
Yeah.
Right. We stopped them short of first downs. We had DPIs. We had holdings on defense that were called, and it was just it was frustrating nonetheless.
Yeah, it was.
For the Chiefs, I think it's Patrick Mahomes is still Patrick Mahomes, man.
100%.
He went off this week. He had I think he went, was it 27 of 37? He had 269 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He did have also 5 carries for 60 yards. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, his QBR was only 63.7, but his passer rating was 120. Okay. Which is, I mean, I think, if not his highest, one of his highest this season, passer rating. So, I mean, he's still Patrick Mahomes. He's still making plays when he needs to make plays, which is fantastic to see. Kareem Hunt continues to not go down on initial contact.
Yeah, we were watching the game. I watched it with Dionte on Sunday, and I told him, I was like, every single time Kareem Hunt goes down, like angles down, he ends up 2 yards further than I thought he went down.
Yep.
Because he just drives whenever he's real low through the defense.
And how many times has he been hit in the backfield and then turn it into a positive, at least a
Get over the line.
gain,
Yeah.
but positive. He doesn't take negative yards.
Yeah.
He really doesn't. That's a key to this season as well. I think Noah Gray is a wizard.
He is.
This is a back-to-back weeks of 2 touchdowns. And when Taylor Swift isn't there, he seems to shine.
Yeah.
So apparently,
this is true.
Apparently, Travis gives his magic to someone else that Taylor Swift gives him when she's at the game.
Some would say whenever Taylor Swift isn't there, he's in his era.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
look at you.
Look at that.
Look at you.
Look at that.
Oh my gosh.
That's crazy. It's the Noah Gray era.
Noah Gray era. Man, he's showing that he's going to be the guy. He's in his 4th season. We did extend him earlier this season. He's in his 4th season, so we've got him for another 2 years after this. I have a very good feeling he is going to be re-signed after that deal's done. We might, honestly, after this year, we might extend him again. Yeah. We might restructure that contract to extend him again. And Chiefs might feel comfortable not having Travis Kelce next year. Now, we do have him through the end of next season, but who knows? Who knows? Next, so this is one of the most important takeaways from this weekend. I cannot wait for DJ Humphries. Cannot wait. And the reason being, we continue to not be able to do the simple things on our offensive line. So once DJ Humphries comes in, can't wait for him to start team activities, getting in the action, you know. Another thing I took away from this week is Chiefs play calling, the coaches' play calling can be absolutely terrible, with our execution being even worse.
Do you have any examples, specific ones that you remember?
Well, I think there were 2 sacks of, was it 17 yards or something more? There was a couple of screenplays that we went out and our line missed blocks on the outside, and we got tackled for a loss. At least 2 I saw. And they were in crucial 3rd down spots. You just can't do that, man. Yeah. Or even if they're on 2nd down, you can't take negative yards on 2nd and 3rd down. You really can't. And we did. And I think a lot has to do, again, with our offensive line not maintaining blocks. So those are my initial takeaways from the game. What are your key plays? What are the plays that you think made the difference in this game?
Well, the first play of the game seemed to set the pace for the rest of the game for the offense, at least. It looked like we were going to dominate all day with Samaje Perine.
With the most incredibly bad camera work.
Oh, yeah. The production team needs to have a turn talking to. Samaje Perine, opening run of 56 yards, and as he comes down, down the middle, passes the camera, under the camera, and the camera just doesn't turn. and you just kind of miss the rest of what happens.
Whether it's limitations of the camera or not,
You got to switch the angle.
there's a video switcher.
is.
There's a production director
Yeah.
that says, go camera, whatever, go camera, whatever. I know this because I was a part of one. Go camera, whatever, go camera, whatever. And they dropped the ball in getting the camera angles changed.
Yeah, I agree.
We did not see the side angle. We didn't see how far he got until after the play was over.
Yeah.
He ran 20 yards without us seeing where he went.
I mean, you know that the production team director was screaming to get someone to switch it, and for whatever reason, they just didn't.
Dude, it's insane.
And I don't know how you do that in the
It's
NFL,
insane.
but they did.
It's
And
insane. If you would have seen them switch to a different camera, at least you knew they were trying.
Yeah.
You know, even if it was the wrong camera.
they're trying to find
Right.
the right angle. And he was good all day. You know, there was a play that was highlighted in the NFL's recap where he broke a tackle right behind the line of scrimmage,
Uh-huh.
and then he got the first down.
Yep.
So I mean, he was cooking all day.
Yeah, what was that? That was a 13-yard catch, I think. Was that the catch or the run? It was the catch.
It was the catch.
Yep. So.
Yeah, and then Mahomes had a little bit more time in the pocket. I felt like there was
Okay.
a couple times where it looked like, in other situations in this season,
Uh-huh.
the pocket would have collapsed, and they held long enough for him to get the
Yep.
ball out. You
Yep.
know, and he was able to sit there a little bit longer,
Right.
which is really good to see. He did get sacked 5 times, like we talked about, 43 yards total. So that's probably what brought down his rating a little bit, to say the least.
Terrible.
Yeah.
And that's not a reflection on him, right?
No, I don't. I think that sacks are.
Sometimes you can
Yeah.
credit a sack, not necessarily to the line, but the quarterback maybe just being antsy moved.
I mean,
But-
there was at least one sack where he didn't feel the pressure. There was at least one in this game that I remember where he did, that was on him technically because he didn't turn his head, but not all 5.
Right.
Nowhere near all of that's on him. Mahomes stretching for first downs.
Yep.
Whenever he laid himself out, he's done that before this season. He did it twice, at least. One of them got the first down. The other one was just barely short.
Barely short, but we got the first down with Kareem Hunt on the next play.
Oh, yeah. Like in that situation, you just shove it to Kareem Hunt, and then we move on to the next set of downs.
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed basically, this season at least. And then the 33-yard run.
Uh-huh.
That was super key, obviously.
Yep.
And then just a funny one. Before Mahomes, he runs over the line of scrimmage and he gets tackled, and he knew a penalty happened. And before he even hits the ground, he's pointing towards
as he's getting tackled.
He's just staring off to the sideline, just like someone needs to call that.
And then he sat up and he was still pointing.
Yeah,
it was. Oh man,
hilarious. He's just awesome, man.
Yeah,
like he's just,
which he probably saw the hold happen as he was running because he ran in the direction of the flag.
Yeah,
so there was a lot of penalties this game.
There was a lot of penalties.
There were 19 penalties called and upheld.
Yeah, there was one drive that was just like, what is happening right now?
Yeah,
both sides.
So, my key plays, I think, is our tight end room, right? Tight ends rule. Our tight ends rule this league, right? Noah Gray, another 2 touchdowns, like I said earlier, on 66 yards receiving with only 4 catches. So, I mean, one of those was that 35-yard touchdown on the third play of the game where he was just absolutely wide open. There was nobody within 15 yards of him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, you can't. We're in the NFL. I don't care how bad your team is. You can't do it.
No.
He was more open than Kadarius Toney and Sky Moore in the Super Bowl against the Eagles. You remember how wide open those 2 guys were on the, what was it, the corn dog plays?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Wide open.
Wide open.
Well, then they also had DeAndre Hopkins back in the end zone.
Yeah.
On one play where he stood there just waving.
He was waving.
He just
was
stood there
hey,
waving.
Hey,
and by the time the ball got to
nobody
him,
was on him.
By the time the ball got to him, there was a defender closer. But that's because he was chasing another receiver.
He was chasing Noah Gray.
Noah Gray.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Which Noah Gray may have had a 3rd touchdown if DeAndre Hopkins hadn't have been there.
Right. Noah Gray, I think initially might have thought the ball was going to him.
Yeah. He had to have.
But
You had to have thought that.
along with Noah Gray having those 66 yards, Travis Kelce had 6 catches for 62 yards. So Kareem Hunt also, like, no long runs, but yet again he made first downs when it mattered. I think we were 8 for 13 on first downs, if I'm not mistaken. Where's that at?
Let's scroll up.
Did I miss it? Yeah, 8 for 13 on third downs. And the 1 4th down we had was that Kareem Hunt run that we talked about.
Yeah.
Right? So
1 for 1.
It was the downside is the Panthers were 2 for 2 on 4th down.
Yeah. Again, they played well.
Really well.
They played really
well. So again, your DeAndre Hopkins thing. DeAndre Hopkins had a really good game. I think he had 4 catches as well. Let's see. So DeAndre Hopkins had 5 catches, for 35 yards. Xavier Worthy had 4 catches for 46 yards. Along with Kareem Hunt having 3 catches out of the backfield for 19 yards to go along with his 68 yards rushing, which is, again, I think 4.3 yards per rush, which is what he's averaging over the last few games. So
he's just consistent.
He's consistent, man. He's consistent, and I think we are better for him. One of the best signings that we've had during the season that in recent memory. So that being said, when it comes to what you saw, we talked about your initial reaction. We talked about your key plays to winning.
Yeah.
Where are the improvements? What are the things we need to do better?
Well, I mean, like we talked about, the defense did make Bryce Young have to be perfect in many situations where he had to put the ball in the exact precise right spot.
Yep.
And he consistently did.
Yep.
And so you could argue that, there's not much the defense can do in that situation without drawing penalties, but then we still drew penalties.
Yep.
So I just think that, like you put it really well, making sure they're playing the ball and not the receiver.
Yep.
Turning their heads at the right time, making sure you're not making contact before the ball's in the air.
Right. Well, there was that one throw to Xavier Worthy down the field. Was it Xavier Worthy? One of our receivers. Can't remember if it was DeAndre Hopkins or Xavier Worthy, where as the ball got there, the defender turned his head and swiped, and even though there was contact, because the defender was looking at the ball, they did not call DPI, right? Yeah. So you
just got to protect yourself. Like, you just got to do the things to put yourself in a better position to where you may make contact, but they're not going to call it. Or it at least reduces the probability that they're going to call it on you because you're trying.
It'll be called incidental because you're also trying to play the ball.
Yeah.
Now, obviously there are still times, even if you're looking at the ball, where pass interference is pass interference. But
of course,
our defensive players really got to turn their heads. I think that goes mainly for Chamari Connor and Najee Johnson. Now, Najee Johnson, after he did make a couple penalties, did wind up kind of locking down and making really good plays late. But him and Chamari Connor also, as well as Justyn Reed, really also had plays where the receiver was wide open on their coverage. So,
so I think on offense, like we were starting to see glimmers of the past in previous years. And so there's stuff obviously that could improve on offense. But I think if the defense plays like how we know that they can, and the offense plays the exact same, this game is they score half the amount of points. And so then it looks like
our pass
how this
rush,
game should have gone.
Yeah, our pass rush needs to be better too. Like, we need to get to the quarterback, right? I think we had 2 sacks for 14 yards.
And then that big hit where he did get the ball out.
Yep. Strip sack, but the offensive lineman recovered it. But we really have to get to the quarterback more consistently, right?
Yeah.
Not just getting to the quarterback, but get to him more consistently. Because getting to him once or twice a game, if those are sacks, cool. But where are the other hurries? Where are the QB hits? Even though it's not a sack, those things matter in a game, right? So those things are things we definitely need to clean up as well. So
for sure.
So for me, I kind of just expanded on your stuff. For me, I'm looking at our tackles, right? Our tackles need to block better. Wanye, even with chip help from Travis Kelce, he didn't have enough time to get deep enough to blocked Jadeveon Clowney, and Jadeveon Clowney got a sack. That happened twice. So, I mean, we've got to be better at understanding packages and knowing how to block those, And then Jawan Taylor, back-to-back plays with penalties. He had a holding call on one, and the next one was illegal hands to the face, right? Back-to-back plays. And that just, it can't happen. Having 2 penalties in a game as an offensive lineman is bad enough, but when they're on the same drive on back-to-back plays, you're putting us in an absolute terrible position. And if I'm not mistaken, the next play, we gave up a sack.
Yeah.
It's just, you can't do it, man. You can't do it. Jawan Taylor over the last 3 weeks has given up 11 pressures, 5 hurries, 4 sacks, and 4 penalties.
Yeah, with 2 coming back on the back-to-back plays.
With 2 on the back-to-back plays on Sunday. So Jawan Taylor's the veteran, and we need him to start performing like it. You know what I mean? We just need to get him to, man, just lock it down. Just lock it down, man. We know you're a good pass blocker. We know you're good. We've seen you be good. We just need you to lock it down, man. Look at me, Jawan. I love you. I trust you. Just get it done. Come on. This is crunch time, right? This is crunch time. So, that's kind of where I see us needing to get better a little bit, and I guess we'll just kind of go from there.
Yeah. I'm interested to see how we turn it around this week.
Yep.
How we play a very familiar opponent.
Yes.
With a different quarterback.
Yep.
And they're struggling with some injuries. So are we.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So we'll see how it comes out. But this week we got another win.
Yep.
On the back of the best player in the NFL.
Back of the best player in the NFL, baby.
No question, by the way.
No question.
There's not even. I don't even know how you could have an argument about current players.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Anyways, we got the win.
We got the dub. Woo, 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 woo. Hey, shout out to Carolina, and I understand how they put the smackdown on the Saints earlier this year.
Yeah, seriously, a lot of respect goes out to the Panthers. That was
respect.
Played super well.
So, something we're gonna do a little bit different this week. We do normally kind of do this with our picks and stuff, but I kind of want to start addressing the week to come and our thoughts and expectations of that, and give a little bit more time to that. So this week we're going to talk Raiders. So to start, what is the thing that worries you about the Raiders the most?
Max Crosby.
I mean that's a given.
Yeah. That's the obvious answer. It's what it seems like every single time, but it's because he's consistently the problem. Especially with our tackle issue.
Yes.
Right now. Yeah. I mean, they have injuries. Gardner Minshew's out. I mean, he was not really the starter anyway. But they got a new quarterback, so trying to learn, bring him in.
Yeah.
And we'd have to look at their depth chart for me to remember exactly everything else that they have going on. But on their defense, their defense is looking healthy.
I mean, yeah.
So, I mean, at the very least, they don't have, they seem to have at least a little bit of depth in there. And so, but, I mean, obviously, Max Crosby is always giving out 125% every single game against us.
Yep.
And so, but, I mean, if we can just improve that protection like you were talking about, give him time in the pocket, see if we can take some deep shots maybe. I mean, I'm not trying to revive 2019, but still, that's what we got some of these guys for. And so if we can give them some more time.
I mean, shoot, that 35-yard touchdown pass to Noah Gray this past week was the longest we've had in a while.
And that was Noah Gray. that wasn't Xavier Worthy. That wasn't DeAndre Hopkins. That was Noah Gray.
Cool.
So, but I mean, that's the obvious answer. But I am second string, so I'm going to take it.
Yeah. So for me, I would agree. The thing that worries me the most about this game is the Raiders' defensive line, who is much better than people give them credit for against our offensive line, because this team knows us better than any other team in the NFL, or at least as well as any other team in the NFL, and they play us close every time we play them. right? I don't remember when the last blowout was. Maybe you can look that up. I don't know when the last blowout the Chiefs had over the Raiders.
Well, it was going to be 27-13 in Week 8, and then they scored within the last few minutes, and so it
right.
looked it was close.
The
Like,
last
we had
game,
won the game
was
but-
not as close as the score gives, right?
Yeah, but the
we
score
were
was
in
close.
control from top to bottom. I wasn't worried about that game at all. So it's always weird in games like that where the score is closer than you think it is.
Yeah.
So
I think the last blowout was December 2021 with 48-9 Chiefs.
yeah,
I'm seeing another one for 2022. But let me see here. Yeah, January 2023 we won 31-13.
okay. Wait, January.
2023. Very beginning.
Okay.
Last, I think it was
Yep,
like
it was the last game of the
week 18.
season. Yep. So, yeah, it's confusing me with January
I know.
13th being a game.
Just like
That's
regular
insane.
season.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, we're we both kind of agree on the Raiders defensive line just being kind of crazy good.
Mm-hmm.
Their linebacking core aren't no slouches either, right? They're not slouches. So I think that's going to be the key to the game. If we can protect Patrick Mahomes and give him a clean pocket, we're going to run away with this game.
We've shown that. I mean, this past week that our receivers can get open.
Yep.
Given enough time.
Yep. I agree. So what do you think outside of our offensive line being able to block their defensive line? What do we need to do well?
Kick.
We need to kick well.
We just need to make sure that we sign a kicker that will be able to be as consistent as Schrader was whenever he came in.
I mean, we did talk about Justyn Reed.
Yeah, I brought it up.
But with our depth at defensive back, I don't think that's anything that we need to be risking at this moment. So
absolutely not. I mean that was cool. Whenever he did that, it was like, man, way to be like truly a team player,
right?
And step in wherever your skill set allows.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean that should take care of itself.
Right.
Signing a good kicker and then putting those points on the board.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean it is the Raiders. I mean, just like they know us, we know them.
Right.
And besides Christmas Day and the disappointing loss last year, like we've been able to come out with the win.
Yeah.
So consistently. So and they are really hurting.
Right.
At least on offense. So
yeah, for sure. So I'm my kind of key to winning this game is getting to the quarterback. Our defense has to get, so it's Desmond Ridder starting. Okay, so Aiden O'Connell's on IR, and Gardner Minshew broke his collarbone, so he is going to be out. So their third stringer, Desmond Ridder, who he started for Atlanta last year, 15 games. Okay, he had completion percentage 64%, not terrible. 2,800 yards, 12 TDs to 12 interceptions.
Longest was 71.
Yeah, so long of 71 yards. But I think that's more of a Drake London than.
Yeah, yeah.
But he needs to have like the cleanest of pockets in order to really be successful, right?
Yeah.
So we need to give him pressure, and we just got to get to the quarterback.
Oh, we also need to contain Brock Bowers.
Contain Brock Bowers. See, yeah. I'm gonna be 100% honest. If we give up, if we contain everybody but Brock Bowers, I think it's a successful day.
True.
So if Brock Bowers is the only one being able to make plays, I think we have success in this game. Another key to this game, in my opinion, is containing their running backs. Okay, so it looks like Alexander Madison and Zamir White are both out at this moment. Now, anything can change. They could be ready to go Friday. As of right now, they're listed as out for Sunday. Or, I'm sorry, for Friday. Keep forgetting. It's a Friday game.
It is a Friday game.
So, they're both listed as out. So, Amir Abdullah, who has, he's got some some chops. He has a history of being able to play and run the ball in the NFL. He played for Detroit in 2015, had 143 carries for 597 yards. A couple years later in 2017, 165 carries for 552 yards. And, I mean, so he had the potential. I mean, he's been in the league this is his 10th season, I think. So, is that 10th season or is that? Yeah, 10th season. So, I mean, he's played against us in the past 3 years, but he hasn't really had a whole lot of opportunities to carry the ball. So he'll get his opportunities this week. We're one of the best run defenses in the league, if not the best. So I fully expect our run defense to hold up. We just need to be better at pass rushing. So
yeah,
those are my things. What are your expectations for the weekend? What do you expect to happen on Friday?
I mean,
do you expect a blowout?
I expect the defense. I expect the offense to play well.
Okay.
So I mean, I would expect us to put up similar points to what we put up in Week 8.
So 3 of the last 4 weeks, Patrick Mahomes has not thrown an interception. He only has 1 interception in the last 4 games. So
yeah,
he's been playing really well. So let's look at Patrick Mahomes' stats over the last 3 weeks. So he's thrown what looks to be. I'm pulling up the wrong thing. So I know he's only got the 1 interception over the last 3 weeks. Let's go to game log. So most recent game, he 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Oh, I'm sorry, it's 2 interceptions in the last because he threw the one at Buffalo. The end of the game at Buffalo. The 2 interceptions he threw that week were kind of weird. You know?
They were very uncharacteristic of what we're used to seeing.
They were weird because a lot of times his interceptions are thrown off receivers' hands or like just a crazy play being made. The first interception, he just lobbed the ball right to a defender. And the last interception, in my opinion, was a great play by the linebackers. So, but yeah, he's thrown for 10 touchdowns and 2 interceptions in the last 4 weeks, which is huge improvement. Through the first, what was that? Is that 7 weeks? So through the first 7 weeks, he had 8 touchdowns. In the last 4 weeks, he has 10. So through the first 7 weeks, he had 8 touchdowns to 9 interceptions.
Yeah.
Think about that. 8 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. Since then, he's had 10 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. If he plays like this for the rest of the season, I think that you can throw his name in for MVP. Yeah. If we win out and he's averaging 3 touchdowns a game, like he's thrown 3 touchdowns in the 3 of the last 4 games. Only game he didn't was against Denver, where we ran the ball really well. You know, so which I was expecting us to run the ball a whole lot more this game, but we didn't. So those are my expectations. I think we're gonna just show up and show out on offense. I don't think we're going to struggle as much on defense because we have a third-string quarterback that's going to be playing. Doesn't have a whole lot of experience in this offense. You've got a lot of injuries at the receiver core. They've got 4 receivers right now, if I'm not mistaken, on their active roster.
Yep.
And then you've got several. I think they have like 3 or 4 tight ends. They have 3 tight ends. But you've got 4 active wide receivers, man. So maybe they signed somebody from the practice squad. You got Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker, DJ Turner, and Ramel Caton. Like, those are not Jacoby Myers' household name for sure, but Trey Tucker, DJ Turner, Ramel Caton, like, oh man, those aren't people that people know, and there's a reason for it. But yeah, the Max Crosby and Tyree Wilson lead the team in sacks for their defense, so we'll see what happens there. But I think our offense cooks. I think it's another 30-point game, and we want revenge in Arrowhead for last Christmas. So, yeah, man. Cool. Well, so we're going to do, like I said, we're going to do things just a little bit different, right? So we're going to be ending our podcast every week with just kind of our recap, or I'm sorry, our prediction. Well, not a preview for the game to come. And then we'll be releasing our picks for the week just in a separate video completely.
Yep.
It's just going to be a whole new video, and that should give us a lot shorter content for you guys to ingest, and that way it's not just a bunch at once. You know what I mean? Our recaps aren't going to be. We're going to try to keep them less than 30 minutes like they have been the past few weeks. We want to give you guys more news and information and updates that you might not be able to see. We're going to try to keep from just giving play-by-play of the games.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, most of the people that are listening to this, watching this, are going to already have seen the game.
Yeah, watch the
so,
game.
yeah, you've already watched it. So you really just, most people are going to be here for opinions and our thoughts and maybe ideas that they might not have had about the game and then what's to come. So
yeah, and this is a Chiefs podcast, so keeping more focus on the Chiefs, while also doing the picks and posting them because those are fun.
Yep,
predictions are fun. Keeping that running record, I'm curious to see who's going to win.
So
between you and Dionte.
Yep, we tied this weekend, both 7-6. We had really good weeks last week. We had really good picks last week with him getting 10 or 11 right. I got 10 right. This week, not so much.
Yeah, but it was close.
It was close.
So, yeah, so look forward to that.
And that'll be going up. So that video will be going up every Thursday.
Yeah.
No matter what, Thursday is going to be the day for our picks. So it'll be good, man. I think this will kind of help people digest content in smaller forms, and yeah, we'll just go from there. So
perfect.
For this video, you got anything else, Josiah?
No, man. Looking forward to Friday.
For Friday, yeah. That's going to be a crazy one. Make sure you're liking, you're commenting, as you're subscribing. A lot more people have been commenting and telling us their opinions
and telling us that we're wrong.
And telling us that we're wrong. Yeah, on a lot of opinions, especially when it comes to shorts.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, we get things wrong all the time.
Yeah, we do.
We have opinions, not facts. We're not fortune tellers. Although I did have that one week where I was 15-1.
That's crazy.
Earlier this season. So
that's crazy.
Anyways, we're just glad you guys are here for the ride.
Yep.
So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And until next time, guys, thy kingdom come.